Alright, welcome back to Final Fantasy 16. This will be part 4. Last left off earlier. About to head to the Imperial capital. Travel to Lost Wing and there's that quest here. Grab that and then hopefully it's not a long one.
Ah, you're Sid's man, if I'm not mistaken. Couldn't trouble you for some assistance, could I?
That depends. What do you need?
Some new bearers from Oriflamme just arrived, and it cost Master Quinton a pretty penny to convince their owner to part with them. Man must have been a bloody tyrant. Can't get a peep out of them, try as I might.
They're probably terrified of you.
You're probably right. Dare say it'd take a bearer like yourself to open them up. So, will you have a word with them? Help them settle in?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I can try.
That'll do me. Tell them they're safe, and that if they need anything, they just have to ask.
I'll let them know.
Appreciate it. They're sitting over there, taking a long overdue breather, looks like.
So you're the new arrivals. Is there anything I can get you? You're safe here. They don't punish people like us for speaking our minds.
Truly.
Truly.
I'm hungry. My sister too, we're starving.
Wait here. I'll fetch you something from the tavern.
Thank you.
I won't be long. You stay here and rest.
That's not too bad, at least it's not taking me out of the town.
But how did the grocer know his dog?
I'll have 2 plates of whatever you're serving.
Sorry. We've enough mouths of our own to feed without tending to the wants of outsiders.
It's not for me. It's for some new arrivals.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't see the mark. So you're a comrade. Well, in that case, you may have whatever you require. Take all the bread and wine you want.
That's really all it takes. One look at the innkeeper's mark.
Of course it is. I do as Master Quinton commands, as do we all. And Master Quinton commands that none of his favoured guests be left wanting. Well, don't keep our new comrades waiting. Take what you need and see that they eat their fill.
Alright. Not a huge fan of this Quinton guy, but
Hopefully this will be enough.
as long as he's actually looking after the people.
Don't tell me. Turnips for supper.
Brother, did you see? That bearer spoke to a master.
What manner of place is this?
I have food for you.
Here. Bread and wine from the tavern.
May we? Truly?
Indeed. That's some crunchy ass bread.
Such plenty. Never in all my days.
Brother, this place is like a dream. We sat and no one shouted. We ate and more was offered.
I know. I can't believe it.
You're free now. And the next time you're hungry, you need only ask to be fed.
Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Alright. appreciate the relatively simple side quests like that. They don't net you much, but it's good to do them. What about you? What do you want?
Master Quinton will never forgive me if I don't save that crop. I want no trouble.
Then you'll have none.
Wait, that's... Oh, glory to Grieger. You were the hanged man. I took you for a rogue. If you're a friend of Master Quinton's, then perhaps you'll help me. His vineyard, Lostwing's pride and joy, has been beset by a plague of giant wasps.
And you need someone to solve your pest problem.
I do indeed. I've never seen them so far from the forest, nor so mean for that matter. I suppose the smell's got 'em worked up, and little wonder. This'll be the finest crop we've ever known if the fiends don't eat it first. I tried chasing them off myself, but they won't flee from the likes of me. And if I don't bring those grapes in for pressing soon, Master Quinton will have my guts for garters. You look like you can handle that blade of yours. Will you put it to use for a comrade in need? Please, rid us of these wasps so I can be about my business.
Alright.
All right. I'll see to it.
Hopefully it's along the way.
Thank you. You'll find them over at Gotan's Bales on the edge of town. And hurry, Lostwing needs those grapes.
I think that's back. Yeah. Should be able to fast travel out this way though. But it's not too much of a difference either way.
That must be the vineyard. A few wasps shouldn't give me too much trouble.
Alright.
Looks like that was the last of them. I'd better let Quinton's man know.
I'm a huge fan of flying enemies. Especially of the small variety. Thankfully they're weak though. Just annoying.
But how did the grocer know his daughter had been stealing?
Those wasps won't be interfering with your harvest anymore.
Oh, thank you. Master Quinton would have had my head if I'd lost the crop. I'd say you've earned a reward. Our Gotand Rouge fetches a handsome price among the rich and powerful of the realm. We use that money to keep our comrades fed and imperial wolves from our door. The vineyards were Master Quinton's idea. He wanted to give bearers a place to work, a place where they'd be safe.
Well, he certainly seems to have done that here. I'm glad I could help.
I'll see that he hears of your kindness. And once this vintage is ripe for drinking, there'll be a glass or two raised in your honor.
Alright. Not bad. How do I get out of here? Back up. Carrying on with the main quest. I think I've been out this way yet.
Is it safe to ride to Northreach now?
Clearview. For the most normal sounding place name. I'm gonna swap up my abilities quick. This isn't really doing much. Do I have enough to upgrade it? No, just. Right. Alright.
Too slow.
Dragon Talon. that equipable? Was. Increases burning blade damage by 7%. I don't use that as often as I would like. It takes too long to charge up. If you somehow negate that, then happily stack into it. Till then, I'm good. Couple of checkwords. Shame that has such a long cooldown. Understandable.
Not this time. Don't let them get away. Not this time. Give them all you've got, boys.
Wrong button. I could have held off on using that.
Too slow. Too slow. Not this time. That's enough. The soldiers used to speak of a brothel, but that was north of the checkpoint. I hope that Dame has friends in the south.
It all smells so delightful.
Give me one of those hams, or biggest.
How about a plum for the apple of your eye?
the right to confiscate any objects forbidden by the throne.
Not another step, Branded, or you'll be spending the night in a cell.
Took a step. Now what? Assume I'm gonna find someone out here.
Are you gonna buy something or not?
And what can I do for you?
That depends. You know a way inside the city? That's quite expensive.
Come back again.
You want something, you come back with your master. I won't sell to some stray Branded.
Yep.
A moment, my lady.
A moment? I doubt you could afford even that much of my time. Branded.
My mistake.
No, mine. Upon reflection, you don't have the scent of a Branded about you. The flowers. Otto always did know how to please me. More than Sid ever did anyway. Do you think you could please me, Clive?
Only one way to find out.
You're the dame.
Let us leave such impersonal titles to my less preferred clientele. You can call me Isabel. Otto assured me I could trust you. I can trust you, can't I?
You can trust me, yes, but why would you?
Help you? Because that's what we do. Long ago, Sid did me a kindness when no one else would. I have never forgotten that. Without it, I would not be where I am today. And so, I make it a point to do the same whenever possible. Which brings us here. To the final obstacle between you and whatever it is you seek in the holy capital. I fear the guards are not likely to let a masterless bearer pass unmolested, unless...
It's a choice of words.
Unless...
Unless, of course, his master deigned to appear. Yes, that will do nicely. But I shall expect a favor in return.
I get the feeling she's about to abuse her power. Or more specifically, our positions. Bit of self-satisfaction.
You say these are all from Dalmikia?
The fruit's not getting any fresher.
What the hell are you doing?
Tut tut. We cannot have people thinking I tolerate disobedience from my Branded.
The men who gave me this are no more my masters than you are. But it's not as if I can hide it.
From the moment you acquired it, that brand has done naught but take. But today, it is going to give you exactly what you want. Just play along.
Madame, back to the Vale already?
But of course, we must make ready to welcome you, my dear.
And who might this be?
Why, my new escort. The streets aren't safe for a girl, what with all the royalists about.
Well, don't work him too hard.
Well, that rather depends on you now, doesn't it? I'll see you all at sunset.
Oi, hold up.
Another fucking branded. Well, you're lucky you're with the dame. Now get out of my sight, filth.
You stop me. Snide remark in passing would have been fine.
That wasn't so bad.
Wasn't so bad. They might have recognized me.
But they didn't. And even if they had, they wouldn't have done anything about it. The gentlemen of the garrison are some of my best customers. We have an arrangement, as do you and I. Now, if you'd care to follow me, we can speak more at the Vale.
She concerns me.
Doesn't seem like I have much of a choice.
Well then, I suppose you'll need a little something to remember me by.
And if anyone requests her company, tell them she is feeling unwell.
Madame, you look stunning.
As do you, my dear.
Shall I have one of the girls draw a bath?
That won't be necessary. Clive, my darling. Welcome to the Vale.
Still waiting for Bungie to tell us what it is. Well, he sort of gave us
Thank you for seeing me through
more
the
story
gates,
on that recently.
my lady.
Still not clear though.
I am in your debt.
Well, that was the whole point, wasn't it? And I told you, it's Isabel. Whatever wound you so tight, I wonder. It's certainly not Sid's influence.
You, mentioned a favor. What is it you'd have me do? I don't want to keep my companions waiting.
If you mean Sid and the girl, you needn't worry. They have yet to reach the checkpoint. Yes, Otto asked me to help them as well. But to answer your question, I need you to find someone for me. One of my girls. Tatienne has been gone for several days now, having left no word of explanation. And I've begun to fear the worst.
I feel as if I've spent my whole life searching for people. Though I can't say I'm any good at it.
I trust you'll do your best. Oh, and take this.
That's all we can hope to ask for. Moon and Stars seal.
Proof of that trust. And hopefully enough to keep prying eyes from looking too closely at that handsome face of yours. Now, I have matters to attend to at the Iron Flagon. If you find anything, ask for me there.
I should probably start here.
You wear the dame's brooch. She must trust you.
Enough to have me look for one of your colleagues. A woman by the name of Tatienne.
She's still missing then. Oh, if only I'd comforted her.
You saw her before she disappeared.
The day before, she was in tears. She'd lost her comb, a gift from the dame. It wasn't anything fancy, but you could tell it meant the world to her. You see, Tatienne was an orphan, and she looked upon the dame as a mother, as do we all.
So she was upset.
And I didn't lend her my shoulder. But perhaps someone else did. Tatienne shared a room. Her chambermaid may have seen something. She's over there, sitting by the pond.
Thank you. Let's see what her chambermaid can tell us then.
Alright.
So you're the new escort the girls have been talking about. And you've already been sent off on an errand, eh? Poor boy. You'll be knackered before the real work begins later on tonight.
I'm told you share a bedchamber with Tatienne. Did she say anything to you before?
Before she went missing. Only that she needed to meet with someone. She did mention a name, but I know exactly who she meant.
You do?
Lad from the garrison. Annoying little shit. Spent every gil he earned on Tatienne, and picked fights with anyone else who tried to buy her time. Followed her around like a lost puppy. Tatienne was flattered at first, but it didn't take long for her to get scared. She thought about saying something. But the dame was so proud of her for how much she was bringing in, and she didn't want to let her down.
This man from the garrison. Did you ever see him?
Of course I did. He tried to sneak into our room enough times. Slimy sod's got a scar over one eye. Claims he got it in battle.
You've been very helpful.
Don't let him get away with this. Find him, and you'll find her.
A man from the garrison. Seems a trip to the barracks is in order.
Might grab some of these side quests. Seeing as we're going to be in the area for a bit.
Excuse me, you there? The gentleman with the sword? I cannot help but notice you bear the moon and stars. So you are an associate of the dame's? Might I trouble you for some assistance? You'll be rewarded, of course.
And who exactly would I be assisting?
Oh, forgive me. I am Etienne, a humble merchant, though fortunate enough to count the dame among my acquaintances.
Lucky you.
I have business beyond these walls, but the guards have grown somewhat suspicious of my comings and goings of late. I was hoping someone might be kind enough to go in my stead. And who better than someone in the employ of the Vale's proprietress? Would you be willing to help a fellow in his hour of need?
I suppose.
Why not?
Marvelous. The task is simple enough. Pass through the gate and deliver packages to a few of my most valued clients. There are 3 in total. A grocer, an apothecary, and a distiller. You need only mention that the items you carry are fresh from the master's table.
Nothing dangerous, I hope.
Why, of course not. Merely trifles which folk beyond the checkpoint are keen to get their hands on. And though I cannot prevent you from peeking, I advise that you don't. Strongly advise.
Alright. Honestly, couldn't care less what you're peddling, so...
Sergeant's got it in for us two. As if either of us needs to brush up on our swordcraft.
He wouldn't doubt our swordcraft if he'd seen us stand a veil last night.
Funny.
Where's your commanding officer branded? Don't you know the training grounds are for real soldiers?
Well, you lost or something? Sorry, but the Imperial Guard's got no use for your kind. The infantry always needs more bodies, though.
I'm just passing through.
I don't bloody believe it. The bastard's wearing the moon and stars.
That'll be why he's strutting about like he owns the place.
The dame laughed when we offered her our protection. You reckon this prick's really worth a couple of the Emperor's finest?
I dare say there's ways of finding out. How about it, Branded? Care to show us how you earned that brooch?
Have at it.
Rather not.
Oh, no doubt. Only chivalrous souls that we are, Robin and I need to know the dame's being properly looked after.
Please tell me his name's Bruce.
Fine. If it'll put your mind at ease.
Oh, and just so you know, I won't be holding back. I suggest you don't either.
If I
Take a
didn't,
moment
you'd
to
be
get ready
dead
if you need it.
before we even
Wouldn't want
started.
you whining about an unfair fight.
You'd probably just have a heart attack seeing Ifrit. Not much I could do about that.
Now, let's get the measure of you, shall we?
If that's what you want.
Cocky bastard. All right, let's be having you.
The sunset or
Oh,
sunrise?
and when you go cry to your mistress, tell her it was Leon
Aw.
who gave you the power.
Leon and Robin.
Use all the dirty tricks you want, Brandon. Alright. So you know one end of a problem from the other. Stay down! Enough. I yield.
Do you?
Fuck me.
What the hell are you playing at, Leon? Ah, so it's a real challenge he wants, is it? Fine. Sword up, bearer. Let's have some fun, shall we? How'd a bearer win the dame's favour anyway?
By knowing when to hold my tongue for a start.
You got potential. I'll give you that.
Please tell me there's full damage. Aww.
I'll be damned.
So, what say
Can
you?
I go now?
Grieger's gas. The bastard didn't even break a sweat.
The dame's man or no, he's still a branded. Best hope the sergeant never hears about this.
Yeah, not after the bullocking he gave us for missing drills. Might be the old sod had a point.
I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, good bloody riddance. At least we know the dame's in safe hands, I suppose.
Do us a favour. If you have to tell the dame about this, tell her we got a good few hits in, eh?
You know, I'll consider it.
The Emperor's finest, Thrashburg branded. Sergeant Major, sir.
Heard the bones fell favourably. To the Vale, then.
What do you think? Nothing like a quick tumble on another man's coin.
I don't know how a bearer came by the moon and stars, but thank goodness I found you. Can I trust you to be discreet?
About what?
About this. About what I wish to ask of you. About the fact that I, a humble creature, assist the Dame of the Vale in her endeavors. As unlikely as it may seem, there are those within the upper echelons of Sambraquois society who find the Empire's treatment of bearers to be barbaric.
All right. But what do you want from me?
This town is carried upon the backs of its bearers, and yet many would see their servants starve. Not for the want of coin, simple fare cost little more than a pittance, but to revel in the suffering of others, a simple act of cruelty. Contemptible though it is, my countrymen would sooner cut off their noses to spite their faces than see their bearers fed. And despite my best attempts at secrecy, my efforts to dole out comestibles have been noticed. Which brings me to my request. The brand upon your cheek affords you a certain freedom. A freedom I could sorely use.
The irony.
Fine. What do you need me to do?
Oh, thank you. An extra meal may not seem like much, but it will make all the difference. Here, deliver these, but keep them hidden. Quickly now. What food I can provide goes where the need is greatest. And today that happens to be the barracks. 3 bearers, overworked and underfed, not permitted a moment's rest.
It's no wonder so many die before their time.
Tragic, true, but do not let anger make you careless. People will view this act of mercy as an undermining of the Empire's authority. Be discreet for both our sakes, and for the sake of those we feed. Oh, and when you're finished, a word in the ear of one of the Dame's girls would be appreciated.
You won't be staying then?
I'm afraid not. I am expected back in the capital, and have already risked much speaking with you this long.
The crystal's curse is bad enough. We can't let people starve as well.
Heard the bones fell favorably.
Are you waiting for it to heal on its own? Hurry up!
Looks like now's not the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Also, body's starting to turn to stone. You appear to be alone.
You look like you need a rest.
Not half as much as I need this. Thank you. I daren't eat it here, though. Not where anyone might see.
Has it always been this bad?
Oh, it was worse before the Chamberlain. I'd be dead without him. Me and many others.
That's something at least.
I have to find a way to get him away.
It's not been half a moon since Bellamy's tour. And then
You're not being watched, are you?
I have something for you.
From the Chamberlain. Thank you. You need to leave. Now. Please.
Branded! Who told you to rest? Stoke those damn flames! And you! If you've got a message for me, out with it. If not, return to your post.
Well, that could have gone better, I suppose. What about you?
Curse you! Get away from me! You'll work faster next time if you know what's good for you!
Here. It looks like you need it.
Enjoy.
The Chamberlain must have sent you, but alas, my work is far from over. If I don't go now, they'll beat me.
You need to rest.
But I won't. I've wounds to heal and bones to mend.
And what of your own hurts?
They'll wait. As will my hunger. Thank you, though.
Best of luck to you.
A drover has more regard for his cattle than the Empire does its bearers. Anyway, I'd better head to the Vale.
That bastard!
Now, they shouldn't give me any grief leaving.
That's the day done then.
Right? No? Alright, good.
With the right
With reds, whites, ale.
Come, treat yourself.
Fresh fish, all from the Sea of Grace this backward.
I warn you now, I don't sell to your kind, whether you have the coin or not. Where's your master anyway?
Etienne sent me.
Didn't know he had his own bearer. Business must be booming. All right, quickly now, before the guards notice.
Heavy purse, eh?
That isn't a burden off my back. And this is for Etienne.
All this for a drink.
Not just any drink. The very best, specially distilled for my most discerning customers. The guards find that, they'll seize it before you can blink. You keep it well hidden, all right? If Etienne likes it, tell him there's more where that came from. For a price, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. Nothing like a free sample, eh?
I have no business with Branded.
I'm sensing a
business
theme.
With you. A package. Fresh from the master's table.
I do not know you. Where is the merchant, Etienne?
Somewhere the gate guards won't be paying him or his affairs any mind.
Fine. Hand over the goods and be gone. This is lighter than usual. Branded, if I discover you have played me false...
I can always take it back.
You will do no such thing. Your master should cut out your insolent tongue. Had you been the tool of any other man, I would see you clapped in chains. Payment. Take it and get out of my sight.
Cigars.
Those cigars are worth more than your life. Do be careful.
You know, I don't doubt that.
There's nothing here for your kind, Branded. Go on now, shoot.
I have a delivery from Etienne. Fresh from the master's table.
I made it a point to not actually look inside them.
Why didn't you say so?
I don't even know if you can.
Times are hard. But this here'll make 'em less so. For a while at least. Sorry about the welcome. Meant nothing by it. You wait right here.
All good. Used to it at this point.
Here. You can tell Etienne I'm a man of my word.
Perfume.
Oriflamme's finest. Just as promised.
Perfume, cigars, and spirits. Someone has expensive tastes. The question is, how can they afford to maintain them? I suppose there's only one way to find out.
Through the gate until all packs have been inspected.
Let me guess, we're gonna run into trouble now. No? Okay, good. Those guys were kind of assholes on the way in, so...
I haven't seen you around the Vale of late.
Ah, you have returned.
I believe these are yours.
Delightful. The dame will be pleased.
You don't say. And would she be pleased to learn what you had to exchange for those items?
You mean the crystals? No need to be coy, my boy.
Why not just tell me in the first place?
An honest man wears deception like shackles about his ankles. I couldn't risk you stumbling under the gaze of the guards. After all, we both know the punishment for dealing in unsanctioned crystals, even such morsels as I provide. And if you don't know what this day's work may have cost you, then, well, I dare say you'll sleep all the better for it. Despite the risk, our friends beyond the wall gladly give their finest and most treasured wares for the paltry crumbs I trade in.
I didn't realize crystals were so scarce here.
As scarce as chocobo teeth, hence the thriving market for even the scantest fragments. Do you think it vulgar that I profit from the hardship of others?
I think you're doing what you believe is necessary.
Yeah, indeed. And I don't doubt the dame would agree.
Yeah, I respect the
A
hustle.
reward for a job well done. I have the goods I was commissioned to gather, and the guards are none the wiser. I thank you, as will our mutual friend when she hears of how you have aided me.
I am sure she will. Right, what do we get? Alright, decent amount of materials. Nothing too overly exciting.
All right. Are you here for business or pleasure?
Business, though not my own. The Chamberlain put me to work delivering food.
Ah, so he found someone to help him then. Just as well. I hear his friends back at court have been taking a little too much interest in him of late.
So he really is a Chamberlain.
There was a time when he was the Vale's most illustrious customer.
Huh.
Us girls thought of him as a generous uncle.
That's...
He was one of the only people
I don't know about
who
that one.
seemed bothered by the way the Empire treats its bearers.
Rare for one in his position.
A fact not wasted on the dame. A little nudge from her is all it took, and he became the patron saint of Northreach's starving masses. My sisters and I may have lost an uncle, but bearers are being fed for a change, so we don't grumble. Much.
Glad to hear it.
Gives you faith, though, doesn't it? To know there are people out there like him. And you, for that matter. It's no wonder the dame's got a soft spot for you.
I better be going.
Buddy's getting nervous. Alright, magic dash. Slightly better rewards. Now back to the plot.
Heard the bones fell favourably. To the Vale, then?
I'm looking for a man with a scar over his eye.
Looking for a man? Does this look like a brothel, Branded? Fuck off.
Hold your tongue. He wears the dame's brooch. One word from him and the Vale's doors will be barred to us for good.
There's only one man in the garrison with a dodgy eye. His name's Yannick. I haven't seen him around lately, though.
On account of him being in war. Yeah, Yannick left a few days back. Said he had dealings with a merchant there.
The dame thanks you. Moor is the last village on the road to Oriflamme. I should let Isabel know where I'm headed.
Well, that's concerning.
Clive, tell me you bear good tidings.
Eh.
That remains to be seen.
I have potential news.
Oh, Tatienne, you could have told me.
This Yannick. The soldiers I spoke to believe he's in the village of Moor. According to them, he claimed to have some business with a merchant there. Though that wouldn't explain his continued absence.
And you plan on traveling to Moor to ascertain the truth?
If that is what you wish.
Isn't that what you want?
Oh, it is, but I fear sending you there may cause more harm than good. The people of Moor are rather set in their ways. You'll find they have little love for bearers, and they will not hesitate to report one such as you to the constabulary. There is a man in Moor who owes me a favor. More than one, in fact. His name is Bertrand, and he works at the stables. Tell him I sent you.
I shall return as soon as I find something.
All right. Whoa.
The markets are
Yeah, that's a hell of a view. I'm on bloody performance.
Oriflamme, how many bearers suffer to keep your granaries full?
Honestly, amazing how far games have come. And like, this game isn't the best looking in terms of actual like resolution and all that jazz, but look at what games were doing 10 years ago and they don't even compare. 20 years ago and it's night and day. You wouldn't even dream of being able to do this. I'll leave you alone.
That's enough for today, Branded.
Go on, back to the pit.
That's enough dallying, you two. Up, the lot of you. There's still work to be done.
The ominous music and the very heavy-handed prejudice.
Have you seen my Chloe?
Really beating you over the head with
out
it.
of her pen while I did my chores, but she hasn't come back yet. I think she's lost. Please, can you help me look for her?
Just the way she spoke. Chloe is like a
I
pet.
can't promise I'll find her, but I'll try. Describe her to me.
She's beautiful, white hair. She lets me stroke her when I'm sad. She's ever such a good girl. So quiet and kind. And she likes walking in the wheat. I know the fields are big, but she's never got lost before. Oh, she must be starving too. She hasn't eaten anything since yesterday. It is my job to feed her.
In that case, let's not keep her waiting.
Yeah, the way these people were speaking with the unnerving music.
That's a lot of field to search. With a little luck, someone might have seen her.
Had another branded drop in the field yesterday.
How do they expect?
these fields. I need to ask you something.
A branded. And an outsider at that, judging by the lack of manners. Why should I help you, eh? You tell me that.
Because a girl from the village asked me to find her pet. Chloe. Have you seen her?
Chloe, is it? Oh, little Lisette's plaything. Last I saw, the filthy creature was sniffing about the windmill. That girl's old enough to know she should tie her pet up when she's finished playing with it.
Jesus Christ.
The windmill.
Off with you now. I won't have idle branded underfoot.
And they're doing a great job of showing you how not to treat people.
Chloe?
You're not Chloe.
More brown than white. You're not Chloe, are you, girl? Is that someone napping on the job? I hope they don't mind the interruption.
I don't know about napping. She looks kind of... I was gonna say stoned, but petrified would probably be more accurate. That's why she had white hair.
Chloe, I was calling you. Didn't you hear me?
What?
Get up now.
Oh, you poor
You've
naive
slept long
boy.
enough. It's time to go home. Chloe? Why did you already turn into a rock? I only made you do a bit of magic. You knew you were my favourite. None of the other Chloes had pretty hair. It could be months before Dad gives me another one. I have to wait until they're too tired to work anymore.
Is that all she was to you? A plaything? Do you really not care that she's dead?
She's not dead. She's a rock.
That? The crystal's curse? That's just how she died. And now she's gone forever. Giving another bearer her name won't change that.
No, don't say that.
Someone needs to.
It's true. And without that brand, she would have been just another girl. Somebody's daughter. Just like you.
But Dad said bearers don't have parents.
They do. Parents that give them away. Families they'll never see again. But you became Chloe's family when you took her in. Remember that. And remember her.
Oh, he handled that well. Better than I would have. I probably would have just backhanded her. We do anything about it? Or, I'm just gonna go. Damned the consequences.
If the people of Moor are as intolerant as Isabel says, it's no wonder the Empire never sent my unit here.
You're probably not even going to speak to me.
Are you Bertrand? The dame sent me.
Sounds about right. Only time I hear from her is when she wants something. Well, go on then. What is it?
One of her courtesans has gone missing, and I need to find her. A soldier who may have information on her whereabouts is rumored to have come here to meet with a trader.
Many traders stop to peddle their wares on their way to the capital, but only one's been seen quarrelling with a soldier.
Is he still here?
The trader? Oh, yeah. Stubborn sod stood his ground till the soldier got tired of shouting, from what I hear. If you seek him out, keep your head down. Fact is, folks round here would sooner hang a branded than help him. And that's even with the dame's brooch for protection.
Understood.
Let's see. Are you going to talk to me?
Buy, sell, or be gone.
Alright. You're not going to have anything for me anyway. I'm not using Heatwave.
Weren't expecting any new branded until the new moon. You don't think he's a deserter, do you?
What's this? A branded? Where's your master? Must I call for the constable?
I come to you from Northreach, at the behest of the Dame. Perhaps you've heard of her.
Why, of course I have. I am the good lady's servant.
Love the tone shift.
What is it that she requires of me?
Rumor has it you were seen arguing with a soldier some few days ago. A soldier with a scar over his eye.
Yes, that's right. He had a comb which he claimed was an antique. Said he wanted to trade it for a newer one. But old though it was, an antique it most certainly was not, as I told him. Nevertheless, he insisted that it was of great value and was quite vehement about my appraisal. I stood firm, however, and for all his bluster, he still purchased a new comb, albeit an inexpensive one.
And do you know where he went after that?
My customers aren't usually in the habit of telling me whither they are bound, but as it happens, this one did. Yonder ruins, strange as it may sound.
My thanks.
Not at all. I would do anything for the Dame. Anything.
Yeah, you would.
Be sure and tell her, won't you, that I was helpful. I mean, most helpful.
All right. Out that way. It's all just one big field, which is appreciated. Back to the ominous music.
It smells of death here, Torgal. Wolves. We can't let them get any closer to the village.
Quite a level up. Well, this is unfortunate.
Damn it all. Bodies. A man and a woman. Well, the wolves have been busy. But the blood is long dry.
Huh.
So it is you, Tatienne.
If that's true, then the body next to hers will be Yannick's. The girl Yannick went off to see every night. He said her name was Tatienne.
You. Did you follow me?
Now, why would I do that? Unless you think I'd have good reason to. But no. I was sent to find Yannick. By the looks of things, I have.
We both found who we were searching for.
Nah, he was a jealous sod. Couldn't stand the thought of his woman with someone else.
Did her in and then did himself.
He sees her with a new comb. Thinks she's got herself a new gallant. Tells the garrison he's going to find the man and kill him. We know it's all talk, but then he disappears off to Moor for some dealings and doesn't come back.
If you mean this comb, it was a gift from the dame.
If only Yannick had bothered to ask, eh? He might not be rotting on a hill.
I think he meant to ask her something else. He stole the old comb and bought her a new one in the hope they'd wed.
Wed? Where would they have gone? Certainly not back to Northreach with a dame waiting. And we all know what happens to deserters. Tell the dame I'm sorry for her loss. When the lads come to collect Yannick's body, I'll see that Tatienne is delivered to the Vale.
Is that wise?
Oh, there won't be any covering up this mess. The most we can hope for is that the dame doesn't hold it against us. Speaking of which, I saw her in Moor just now. Could you tell her what happened? Might sound better coming from you.
Sure thing. I appreciate him not being an asshole about it.
Isabel. Perhaps the comb will give her something to remember Tatienne by.
Oh. Fine now, gimme.
If it was a message that needed delivering, I could have seen to it, milady.
You are still in one piece, I see. You will be pleased to hear that your companions have arrived. They said they would meet you at a little chapel to the east of here.
Thank you, but you needn't have come all this way just to tell me. I was on my way to see you.
You found her then?
Well, I certainly did.
I see. My dear Tatienne. It is by no means uncommon for a client to fall for a courtesan. Especially a client who's young and far from home. But rarely do such tales have happy endings.
I found this with Tatienne. I believe it was yours.
Thank you for returning it. I shall see that it has a place on her pyre.
Surely that's a level up. Indeed. Alright. Starting to get a bit of magic, huh?
I should go.
Before you do, I have one last gift. A token of my thanks. The Vale counts among its patrons several high-ranking officers of the Imperial Army. According to one of the looser-tongued gentlemen, it would appear that the legions are planning to march south.
Or to mention the same thing.
But did he mention that it was all of the legions? This is no mere skirmish. Were I to guess, I'd say the Emperor planned to abandon the capital. But that couldn't possibly be true now, could it? Take care, Clive.
I will. And thank you again.
Didn't they say they were just going to expand? Because they're losing the farmland up north. Either way, capital emptying out is good for us. Morning.
Any trouble on the way?
None worth mentioning.
As I was telling Jill, it's worse than I thought. The capital's crawling with soldiers.
Never mind.
And here I am, the deserter come home.
Which is why we'll be taking the back door.
As long as we're not going over the top. A hell of a climb. The pleasure houses. Compared to the buildings around it, it definitely looks pleasing to the eye. Even though I can guarantee that's not why it's known by such a name.
Cheer up, you two. Can't think of a safer place in the Empire than a... brothel.
Really? Doesn't seem very private.
That's the point.
So then, how do we proceed?
We'll be using the glass gate. Tonight, just after sunset.
Where the shards are loaded for transport. That is one of the most heavily guarded points in all of Setback.
But not the most, which is a start.
Sure.
Besides, I know a shortcut straight to the heart.
A shortcut?
Sid in his fucking shortcut.
How exactly did you come to know about this fatal chink in the Empire's armor?
Let's just say I may have attempted something similar before. And may have ended up running for dear life after being discovered by Bahamut, but that's not important.
Sid, if the Mother Crystals truly are the cause of the Blight...
If? You wound me, Jill.
What I'm trying to say is, if the powers that be know all of this, why do they sit idle and allow it to continue?
In case you haven't noticed, the God-fearing people of this realm and their pious leaders care for but one thing, themselves. And they'll do whatever it takes to hold on to power. The rest of us are just a means to an end. The moment you raise your voice against them, you're decried as an outlaw, clapped in irons and slung in a cell to rot.
Sounds remarkably similar.
Whoever controls the crystals controls the realm. But our kind can wield magic without them. To our rulers, we must seem the most convenient of tools, and the most dangerous.
But what makes them think they have the right to use us? To leave us to die when our bodies are spent?
Does a nobleman weep for a broken mug? A torn tunic?
Some do.
Means nothing to them.
They're fucking weird.
No, this isn't a battle you can win with words. Believe me, I've tried, but nothing ever gets through. The world is simply not ready to listen. So to hell with talking. If they won't give us a say, we'll decide our fates another way. You can't blame a man for wanting to bring an end to all this, can you?
I can't. But what of all the people you mean to rob of their comforts? Are you happy for them to call you outlaw?
Sid the Outlaw. Ah, that'll do me.
You might at least pretend to take this seriously.
Have a little faith, Jill. Even if you don't think much of my choice of digs. If it means my deeds will be remembered, I'll gladly play the role of villain. But first, we have a gate to crash. And once we're in, there'll be no turning back. So you best make ready. The world won't save itself.
There's another side quest there. One back at Martha's Rest again. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're gonna be there when I get back, so. Oh, never mind. You've reached a pivotal moment in the story. If you continue, you will not be able to return. Proceed? No. Yeah, I will go do these real quick then.
The tavern. It's done for. I've seen your face before. You're a friend of Martha's. Help us, I beg you.
Help you with what?
Bandits in the Golden Stables. They're waving their swords around. I think they're gonna kill someone. When I saw what was happening, I slipped out the back. I should have stayed.
Is she kind of cute?
Oh, please help them.
All right. I'll see to your problem.
Thank you.
How many were there?
I was out of the door too fast to count. They looked a nasty bunch, though. Be careful in there, all right?
Alright. You just stay out of sight.
Ha! Golden Stables, my ass. All Martha's hiding back here is coppers. Oh, that's a fine sword, friend. Heavy, though, I expect. What say we relieve you of it?
Sure, you can hold on to the pointy end.
Get him, lads. I want that blade.
Let's get this over with.
I was gonna say, probably should try to avoid damage to the bar, but... Amazing how simple human enemies are. Sorry about the furniture.
I'll be keeping my blade, thank you.
There he is, the hero of the Golden Stables.
People will think twice about pushing us around again, thanks to you. We're lucky you were nearby.
I wasn't.
No good cowards wouldn't have dared set foot in the place if I'd been here, of course.
But you weren't. I thought you told me you had someone watching the place.
The Blood Axes keep an eye on the tavern, yeah. When they're not busy keeping the peace, that is. I've spread them as thin as they'll go. The Empire might be in charge, but that don't mean they care to keep us safe. If it weren't for the Blood Axes and me, merchants won't come near these lands for fear of what might happen to them.
I see. Then you do Rosaria a great service.
Just as you did today. You're a useful man to have around. Here.
Thank you.
And there'll be a mug of something tasty waiting for you whenever you next stop by.
Right, we've got work to do for to make this place presentable. You best be going, before I arm you with a mop.
You destroy some tables. That's my bee. Could use that drink though.
of the hour.
May I help you?
You're the one who saw off the bandits, aren't you? Martha was singing your praises. Takes a brave man to march into danger out of the goodness of his heart. You have my respect.
A Rosarian salute.
Oh, what is it they say? Old habits die hard. I trust you won't be reporting me to the Vicereine. If we'd had a few more like you about, perhaps the Rosfields might still... Listen to me rambling on. Thank you again, and...
He doesn't know.
Take care of yourself.
He doesn't know. Alright, if I remember correctly, there was another side quest back out near the field before reaching that hamlet.
The fruit's not getting any...
There is no fast travel down there. Up here. There had to have been a fast travel up here. I just probably didn't find it. 'Cause that's kind of a ways.
That's the day done then.
Oh, at least we get to see the stunning view again.
The markets are up.
Not the most ideal time of day for it, but still a hell of a view.
That's enough for today, Branded.
Go on.
Massive two-gill.
That's enough dallying, you. Up, the lot of you. There's still work to be...
You, Brandon, here, now. You're late. What kept you?
Late for what?
Did they tell you nothing? A wild beast is savaging my boy. Well, don't just stand there gawping. Rescue him.
Sure.
All right. Where is he?
My. I see they've sent me a Branded with a spine for a change. He's over that way, towards the coast. Go, and see that you kill the beast.
For someone whose son's in mortal danger, he didn't seem all that worried. Something's not right here. I need to be careful.
The wolf! It's going to eat me!
Not if I can help it. Stay back. I'll deal with this. Right.
Keep your distance, boy.
That's enough.
Well, that went well.
No! You weren't supposed to kill Wolfie. You were supposed to die.
Ah.
Father will have you whipped for this. Bearers aren't supposed to win. They never win.
What is this? Your father said you were being attacked.
You're not supposed to talk. Stop looking at me like that. We were only having fun.
Having fun?
Why are you still speaking? Father will hear of this.
I know, the wolf killed your son. Whatever will we do? Tis a shame I didn't get there in time.
The wolf's work, no doubt. But it's not the wolf that's to blame. Someone needs to put an end to this before it happens again.
You, Brandy, come here this instant. How dare you frighten my son? You slaughter his poor pet and then have the gall to return, head held high. That wolf was trained. Better trained by far than your worthless kind. You are the entertainment, nothing more. And we are most certainly not entertained.
Nor am I. You'll pay for what you've done.
See? I told you, he talks too much. It's not right. I don't like him, Father.
You're not the Branded I bought, are you?
One swing.
How dare you deceive me?
Top right corner,
Well,
bottom left corner.
The sins of the slave are the
One
sins
swing.
of the master.
All it would take.
Go! Summon the unlucky wretch you answer to.
That unlucky wretch would be me. I'm my own master. I'm beholden to no one. And I take orders from no one.
Lies! Do you think I cannot see that brand on your face?
Shut your mouth and listen. Those bearers you killed, they were people. They felt fear and pain, just as you do. And unless you wish to share in their suffering, you would do well to remember we are not your playthings.
Father, he's scaring me.
Oof, chills.
How dare you threaten us? How dare you?
Can't we just buy another hound? A bigger one, a better one.
Of course, my son. I'll have the villagers fetch us another. With jaws powerful enough to nip this Branded's head clean off his shoulders.
You know what? Go for it. I guarantee you it'll deal with you for me.
I'm wasting my time.
Big mood.
I can't just leave those bearers lying out there. They deserve a proper burial. That much I can do at least. How many bearers have lost their lives to this nobleman's sport?
Play the most dangerous game, win the deadliest prize.
More victims of the nobles' games. You must be Clive.
How do you know my name?
The Dame. I'm in her service, like yourself. Never gets any easier, burying the dead.
Is that what you're here to do?
The mistress has me see to it that none are left to the crows. Since you're here, can you give me a hand?
Gladly. Let's put them to rest.
Fine place to be buried.
May their burden finally be lifted. I take it you slew the nobleman's pet?
I did. Now I expect they'll find another soon enough. And when it gets here, more bearers will die. How can they think so little of sending us to the slaughter?
Simple. Because you are not them. Bearers are tools when they're needed, and toys when they're not. And if one breaks, well, you can always buy another. Still, Such attitudes don't always go unpunished.
Hmm. Ah, sweet, beautiful justice.
Of course not. Wolves kill. It's in their nature. Invite one into your home, it's gonna tear your throat out eventually. Same with bearers. Fed or not, they don't lack for fangs. What will folk do when they bite back, I wonder? The realm's less two murderous bastards, and I won't mourn the loss. Here. For their help.
You don't have to.
Take it. You never know. Our paths may cross again. Till then.
Stay safe. Audio just cut out then. Ooh, 30 magic dash. How much of that do I even have? $340. Jeez. Okay, you can hold a lot.
Stay down.
There's the telepoint. Telepoint? Teleport point. Just gonna combine them. Alright. That's all of it? Well, let's go. No turning back now.
There are not nearly enough men here.
Then it's fortunate the city guard doesn't take sentry assignment as seriously as you do. This bodes well.
Won't be a first. This may not be such a terrible plan after all.
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
Only that your last secret shortcut was nowhere near as secret as you claimed.
Yeah, but that's half the fun of it. Life's too short for perfect plans. You want a plan that'll keep you on your toes, stop you growing old and complacent.
Worked for you, has it?
Clive, my boy, even life's smallest challenges offer the opportunity to grow and to change. You must embrace these moments. Allow them to suffuse your heart with a deep sense of fulfillment.
Narrowly escaping death at the hands of an enemy is not my idea of fulfillment.
Something wrong?
Not at all. Just wondering if the two of you had finished.
Right. We make for the Mother Crystal's heart as planned. Destroy it, and the whole thing should come tumbling down.
And if the passage to the inner sanctum is guarded?
Then we embrace the moment and use it to grow and change.
That's one way of putting it. The Crystal's Curse.
Come on, this way. Try to stay out of sight.
Obviously.
Don't worry, the passage is empty.
Save the rats. I doubt they're gonna knock on us.
All right, not quite empty. Let's get this over with.
One single man for reaching the sanctum, so shut your gob and keep your eyes open.
They're not from the garrison. I swear this passage used to be secret.
Of course it did.
Perfect plans, Clive. Perfect plans.
And then we do that. All of a sudden, there is a significantly less amount of people.
It never stood a chance.
You're welcome.
Them or the lock? Vents?
The main tunnel.
That would be my guess. There are sentries everywhere.
You good? We good.
And all good things must come to an end. We might have a bit more company from now on.
Might.
Captain!
To arms!
Where do they all come from?
Summon the cannoneer! At once!
I think this may be the moment I was talking about earlier.
That's a big boy.
What have we here? More insects come to be squashed? You will find my mortar and I only too happy to oblige.
With a talker.
Then let's shut him up. Not this time.
You didn't ask nicely.
Is he?
Bollocks. It's gonna Kashyyyk.
Whatever that means.
We'll get none in return. There's nothing left of him but hatred and rage.
Let's end his torment.
Not this time.
Straight back to my itchy nose.
Not this time.
Too slow.
Not this time.
Well, he was tough. Ooh. Ignition damage. Isn't that the one that throws the fireballs around me?
I'll never get used to that. Akashic or no, he was still a man. A man who drowned in ether.
It's no way for anyone to go.
Come on.
Guard duty's a death sentence in this place. Not that Sylvester cared.
I understand us three being resistant to the ether. But what about Torgal? He just seems like a regular old pup.
Breathe deep of the blessing, my friends. Who said being a dominant doesn't have its benefits?
Sid, this is an ether flood.
There shouldn't be one here, should there? The workers couldn't survive this.
Well, it wasn't here last time, I can tell you that. Which means we need to be quick. The ether won't hurt us, but I'd rather not find out what it's done to everyone else.
Alright. Well, it's been a while since I've leveled anything up. So, should have a few. Still a ways off that. Could probably refund some stuff to get it. Give me 100 back. I thought it'd give me 100 back. Oh, no, 100 to get. Be 600 to upgrade it. That's what I just got the thing for. And I don't use it, so. I'm guessing this can be upgraded several times. You know what, I have the thing equipped for the extra damage on this already, so I'll grab this one. Just curious what upgrading it does. I would assume more damage, but you never know, maybe it's duration or crit chance or something. I don't even know if it is a thing in this game. Why now? Gimme, gimme.
Oh, the miners. The guards.
Too far gone. The ether's made monsters of them.
Nothing left to put them out of their misery. Yep.
Isabel said she thought the Empire might be planning to abandon the capital. Could this be why?
You said you could call her Isabel. Oh no. If ever there was a reason to up sticks, an ether flood would be it. Fuck me. Those cards at the gate. They weren't there to keep people out.
They were there to keep the Akashic in.
Well, that's even more concerning. That either means that there's a lot of them down here, or there's some big boys. Like that previous guy. Careful now. Rip Sid.
Doesn't look that far. Right. Right-yo.
Yep.
Some help.
Hold on.
Not quite as spry as I used to be.
I'll take that as a thank you.
I don't think that was the issue.
Look on the bright side, eh? At least you won't get lost.
War Cry. Some opponents will use the ability War Cry to invigorate themselves, enhancing their performance in battle. Look for the sword up icon. Try to defeat them before they can deal too much damage. One of you is a captain then. You? Oh, there's a lot of you here. And that hasn't reset yet. Alright, is there anything I missed up here? What do we got? Sharp fangs and skill? Alright, nothing special. We're supposed to be going this way. There's no map, so guess I'll look down here first before going that way. Alright. Definitely should have checked the send first. But who was to know, eh? I thought we went in a circle. That's a big boy. I'm gonna check this right real quick. Alright. I'll take the wire. Ah, I see.
Give me fire!
It's so good at just dealing with crowds.
This won't be easy.
Probably didn't need to use it, but
Not this time. Too slow.
Thanks you guys for taking care of the other ones while I took care of the big guy. It's good to have companions that actually do something. Coral sword. I mean, it's better than what I'm using. How does it look? Oh. Got a curved end. Sort of like a fisherman's harpoon.
I see they replaced that wooden door with something a little more sturdy.
Bit of fire will get right through that.
What happened to 2?
Ask 1.
Yeah.
Once more.
Aye, seeing as you're trying now.
3, 2, 1.
As if that was going to keep us out.
Hey, we're finally using this bloody light source. Been dark for ages. And now we can't see outside of our circle.
The mother crystal's just up ahead.
Is it? I can't see a thing.
Well, unless someone's moved it.
Nothing like being given some potions. Oh, that is a bright blue light. You wanted to see.
There's no one about.
I knew
Well
it
then.
would be big. But this...
There. That's our way into the inner sanctum. You'd think they'd have patched that up by now. Sorry state the Empire's in.
Wait. You don't mean...
Aye. My little game of hide-and-seek with Bahamut ended here. A tragic cost to this remarkable architecture. Don't blame me, he started it.
I don't doubt that.
How did he make it out alive?
I walked. You should try it.
Ooh. Getting 15 vibes from that music. Reminds me of the crypt you have to enter at night.
Oh no.
Then again.
Is there something you two want to tell me?
Maybe later.
those creatures from Phoenix Gate be here in the mines?
Are the two places connected somehow?
Garuda, lend me your strength! That's enough. Stay down! Not this time. Not this time.
Alright. It's nothing.
When I was in the Imperial Army, soldiers assigned to the Glass Gate would tell stories about something they called the Guardian.
Can't say I saw anything like that when I was last here. Then again, I can't say I made it this far.
Let's just be careful then.
You should probably be concerned about that. This smells like a boss arena. Yep.
Where did that come from?
If I had to guess...
Poor beast. Another victim of the flood.
At least it looks cool.
Well, if it's a fight he wants...
Ready, Clive?
Always.
hard to hit. Oh.
This time.
Please don't move.
This time. Not this time.
Huge damage. Where are you going?
Where's he off to now? Clive, look out!
Don't let them get away.
This time.
Give me fire!
This time. Too slow. Not this time. Right. Too slow. Not this time. Not this time. Too slow.
But he's angry. Oh, woo! That was a hell of a fight. Alright. Anything interesting? Yeah, not really.
Are you all right?
Fine.
The inner sanctum lies just beyond. Chances are the palace guard knows we're here. We should move. Not that any sane commander would send his men into a place awash with this much ether. Clive. If this all works, and the blessing fades, things are likely to get worse for our kind before they get better. Being the last to wield ether will make our talents that much more sought after, by which I mean hunted. I just hope, in the end, they'll see that we didn't have any other choice, that it was the only way to get us to a better place.
And here I was thinking I was the uncertain one. Luckily, 2 out of 3 of us have faith in you.
Then it all starts here. Time to earn that menacing title. Sid the Vicious, was it?
Alright.
We're almost there.
That was most satisfying
Anyone have any
indeed.
second thoughts?
Not me.
We're with you to the end, Sid.
Then what are we waiting for?
Anything hiding behind pillars? Seems so. Didn't mean to use that. Oh, for the life of me, remember how to do that now. Ooh. Take those.
It's beautiful.
The heart of Setback.
Pretty.
Well, that didn't work. I think we're gonna need a bigger sword.
Give it the old college
Mine's
try.
bigger.
Thank you, Clive, but I meant that figuratively. The core's clearly made of sterner stuff. Taya's going to have a fit when she hears about this. Stand back. It's about to get cramped in here.
Is he gonna do what I think he's gonna do? I think he is. even further beyond?
That's more like it.
Clive, look.
Honestly, why do I get the feeling that isn't going to do what we hope it
What is that?
meant to do? Rip Bozo.
Sid! Ifrit, I need Ifrit. Come to me. I can't do this without you.
Well, this is concerning.
Not again. Where are you?
Hold on.
Has stolen my mind. You may keep my body.
Where the hell am I?
Oh. Oh, it's dead then, right? Right?
I've been here before.
Python.
Yes, the second quietly, are you aware of that? Well, wait.
You again. Where are you? What do you want? Fuck. It's still alive.
Eh, we would have seen that coming. Buddy's got the big stock.
Get out of my head! I don't answer to you. I'm leaving. One way or another. Flames to me!
Hey, good job, buddy. You got it out. Now, put it down. He's not putting it down. Well, he kind of put it down.
That power isn't yours. But this is mine. I remember now. I had a fire. I had it.
Oh. Embodying your freedom again. Melee attack, range attack, evade, jump. 5. Fireball burst. Okay. Interesting, we have a sprint now. Huh. Oh. Dodge while holding circle is an effective method to avoid Typhon's wide scale attacks. Dead.
It's done.
Not dead. Now there's many.
How many more could there be?
There's It's mildly concerning. Slightly more than mildly at this point. It's my champ!
As you wish. Wolves again? Sure is. So, surely we're going to use Hellfire eventually. Greek classic. He's using the Spirit Bomb.
stopped holding it. You might want to look behind you. Huge damage. Ooh. Ah, Flames of Rebirth. Never mind, I haven't got that unlocked. I'll take the materials though. I guess we're not dead. Sid might be though.
Well, enjoy your nap.
You're wounded.
This, it's only a scratch. All right, the hole.
We'll find you a healer.
Here. No, you won't.
Hi.
I know who you are. And if you think I'm gonna let you have him... think again.
Okay. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that. But thank you.
One left. That'll do me.
Try not to talk.
You're gonna stop Sid from talking. Not likely.
Clive. For so long, I thought I had all the answers. But then I met you. And I learned it wasn't a good death we should be fighting for, but a better life. It's all very well, a man reclaiming his fate. But if he can't choose how he meets it, what's the point? So, I made a choice.
Oh, well, I guess we're getting Sid's power.
Don't do this. The rest is in your hands. The crystal's blessing is a prison, Clive. And if it's an outlaw the world needs to help it break free,
Farewell, Sid.
In ashen grip, let ember glow, to kindle flames anew.
Brother!
I'm sorry, Clive. Had I arrived but a moment sooner. Do you remember me, boy?
Of course he does.
I saw you protect them.
He's a good boy.
That was very brave. I know you're there, Ultima.
Oh.
You have learned our name. What else have you learned, Phoenix?
My travels have revealed much about you and your ambitions. I know that it was you who tore me from my brother. And I know that it is his power that you seek. But know this. If you want him, you'll have to go through me.
Very well.
Breath of mine ancestors, fill these lungs that I may dispel the songs of suffering.
A disturbance.
I am quite disturbing.
We'll leave. My brother alone. This is getting us nowhere.
We agree. No more games, Phoenix. We have come to claim our vessel.
And I said no.
Buddy laid a trap. You walked right into it.
These flames are nothing. You will know what it is to burn.
Yours is a fleeting form. I'm not fool enough to think I can harm you. But to protect my brother, I don't have to.
These are not flames of destruction.
Have you forgotten already who I am? Just try and get to my brother now. Fiend.
We've got to go!
Not without this!
Sid is not among the dead. Shall I send a Stolas?
That won't be necessary.
Well, that was a lot to take in.
The finest silks from the master weavers of Randalar. Come, feel its softness.
Chocobo
Make a nice
steaks,
gift for your
chocobo
wife.
sausage, all from greens-fed farm birds. None of the old courses you'll find elsewhere. Here, take a bite.
I've got peppers and peas, beans and beets. If it goes in a pot, I've got the lot.
Curatives, restoratives,
Look all you like, sir. It's all fresh. Picked this very morning.
Restoratives, unguents, ointments, poultices, harmatives, curatives, restoratives, unguents, ointments, poultices. Might I interest you in a potion, milady? Perhaps a soothing salve to ease the aches of the road? I'm sorry. I wish you well, but may the mothers guide you. Calmatives, curatives, restoratives, unguents, ointments, poultices. Calmatives, curatives, restoratives.
5 years later. Okay. Wasn't expecting another time jump.
See you, Sid. What have we learned?
Bearers are locked up in an old courthouse and I hardly need tell you who is there to make sure they stay that way.
Kupka's private guard.
It's a trap. and not a very good one at that.
Another? What does he hope to gain from this?
I'll have the captives free before nightfall.
You do nothing of the sort. Our comrades didn't give their lives for you to get your throat slit in a god's forsaken slum.
So those in the courthouse should be left to suffer.
That's not what I said. I simply meant it doesn't have to be you who frees them.
Yes, yes, yes.
Damn it all. You're as stubborn as the old Sid was.
Take that as a compliment.
Just don't say I didn't warn you. You're Sid now, and if anything happens to him, we're finished.
So we had our brand removed. The scar's still kind of a giveaway, but I guess it makes it less obvious.
Please, we don't know anything. You have to believe us. We'd help you if we could.
But you're helping us already.
Forgive him, my lord. He did not mean to offend.
Quiet, you!
No sign of Hugo.
I'll wager he thinks as highly of his minions' traps as we do.
Then this should be easy.
Don't hurt us. I beg of you.
Quiet means quiet, branded scum.
Whee!
It's going to be all right. I'm here to even the odds. Any objections?
It's him, the outlaw. Sid's here. Come on. Go! Summon the others! The bearers?
Safe.
Alright, the power of thunder. Clive has claimed a portion of the icon Ramu's essence. Using Ramu not only changes the elemental aspects of his magic spells, but allows access to several new iconic abilities, such as Thunderstorm. Rains down. Rains 11 bolts? On all nearby enemies, knocking them back. And Ramu's feet. Oh. That's interesting. Huh. I assume that's not overly strong. It's more of like a breaking ability.
Sid dies here! Arise! Bravo!
I'm gonna put this out.
Too slow.
Huh.
The outlaw's in here! Bring me his head!
How many are there?
The answer to that may not surprise you.
enough of this!
You guys that keep coming to me. Meow?
They brought a pet.
Is it a curl?
You'll pay for what you've done, Sid.
Those things are fast.
We'll have to be faster.
Ooh, a lot of XP. Alright. Not sure if you can, if there's like low and high rolls on stat increases. I know sometimes I'll get like a +2 in attack as opposed to a +3. Interesting to see if that actually does vary. You'd assume not, but alright, looks like we need a new sword soon. Let's find a smith. Who's next?
To hell with this!
They'll tell Hugo.
Good.
Let them. There's been more than enough bloodshed for one day.
You guys are still here.
Murderer. All of our friends are dead because of you. Do you hear me? They used us as bait. Bait to lure you out of your stinking hole, all because you couldn't just let things be.
What are you even doing here? We never asked to be saved. Did you think we'd thank you? They'll never forgive us. We're all marked now.
I mean, your funeral.
5 years we fought to secure a better life for our kind. To see that we are treated as equals. Do you not want that?
What we want is to be left alone. Every time you show your faces, it is we who suffer.
It's all right. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Just leave us be. This is our home, and this is where we'll stay.
Sid told us this wouldn't be easy. They'll come round.
Well, it's been 5 years.
If you say so.
We should go.
Are they together yet, or...? Too much else going on. We're over here. Back to the hideaway. Or what's left of it.
That night 5 years ago, we destroyed what for many was a symbol of hope. For a reason they'll never know. We cannot blame them for thinking us the cause of their misery. Though it's to give them a better tomorrow, they see only that we've made their lives harder today. Yet the boil must be lanced if it is to heal.
I can't help but wonder if we've made the right choice.
When Sid said that he wanted to create a world where we were free. Free to choose our own path. I honestly don't think it mattered to him if that choice was right or wrong. Only that it was our own.
I miss him.
A world where we can live and die as equals. That's what he wanted. What we want. And that's why I bear his name. It's why we've all chosen to bear his legacy. And I'm not going to let anything stand in our way.
Ride's over, lovebirds. Home sweet home.
That do be an airship. Home sweet home.
Otto was asking after you. Let's go and see him.
Never a dull moment.
Well, I will go and see Otto next time. As for now... Oh, we've got to go for this first. Alright, come on. So now I shall save and get some shut-eye, because it is just gone 4 in the morning. I will be on tomorrow. I look forward to that, at least. If you're watching this on YouTube, and have somehow made it this far, 4 episodes in, I would appreciate it if you chucked us a like and a comment. And if you're daring, why not even subscribe? Still up in the air where I'll be streaming in the future, whether it's Twitch or Kick, but for now, I've got Kick to work, so I'll be streaming there tomorrow. Till then, bye for now.